Alright, what's up guys? It's been a little bit since I've had a video uploaded. It's hot out today, and today I'm working on the V, and I haven't had AC in this car in 2 years, so call me crazy, but I think today is the day I'm finally going to try and replace the AC compressor and then go through the necessary steps to bring it to a shop, have them vacuum out the lines, and recharge the system. So it would be nice if this fixes my issue. The compressor was grinding, so my guess is that it's seized, and it would be nice to have AC in a car again, because as you all know, the 3000 also doesn't have AC. So to be honest with you, I really have no idea what I'm doing with this, and it's going to be a learning experience. So what I'm going to do is start by pulling out the rad, and draining the rad, pulling out the rad, and then kind of assessing where I'm at from there. Some of the guys said they were able to get the AC compressor out through the passenger side wheel well, which I'm going to try and do, but I wanted to do a coolant flush anyway, so I don't see any reason as to why I don't just pull the rad out to give myself some more room and make life a little bit easier. Also, the desiccant filter, I believe it's called, is located inside the AC condenser, I believe, so pulling the rad off will give me access to that as well. But I'm going to start by pulling this shield off. My biggest thing today that I'm going to try and do is keep all my parts organized, and I believe to do the rad, all it's going to consist of is draining the fluid, popping off this hose, top hose and bottom hose, and then these two brackets here that attach to the rad support, and I believe it'll just pull straight out. I'm going to have to disconnect the condenser from it too, which I believe is just a screw here and a screw here. So like I said, the whole thing's gonna be a learning experience for me. I'm not really sure how it's gonna go, and that's why I kind of just allotted the whole entire day just to do this. We're taking my two front tires over to Tyler in a little bit, have him mount some freshies on the front, and then get back to work on this. I'm going to show you guys real quick some of the stuff that I did get though for the V. So I have like a growing stockpile of stuff here. I have some fresh Redline oil for the V and the Trailblazer, oil filters for both of them. Here's some more of the oil for both of them. And then I also have Summit Racing Universal X pipe that I painted it high temp black, except for we're going to do the welding, because I have a drive shaft shop drive shaft on the way. It's a one-piece aluminum dual CV drive shaft. My carrier bearing starts making noise every now and then in the V, and I ordered the one-piece drive shaft shop one because it'll get rid of all the rubber in my drive line. Everything else is poly, all the other mounts, and that should be shipping. The ETA was Monday, this coming Monday, the 25th. So I'm not really sure how accurate that is, but we'll find out. And what we're going to do is put the X pipe in on the car when we have to drop the whole Corsa setup in order to do the drive shaft. So Paulie's going to help me out with that one. So you'll see you guys will see that in a future video. So now I'm going to start draining this coolant and getting this thing, figuring this thing out. Alright guys, so the rad is now drained, the top brackets are taken off, and the condenser is unbolted from the rad on the top. I'm going to unbolt it from the bottom and then see if I can wiggle the rad out through the top of the car. Rad is out. There it is right there. Got all the coolant and everything drained, and this is what the engine bay looks like without the rad. We got the condensers just kind of hanging out right here. We're going to have to take the one plug off of that to replace the desiccant filter, I believe, and yeah, so this opens up a whole lot of room. Down here is the compressor You can see the inside pulley spins without the outside, the clutch and whatnot. So I don't know really what was wrong with it, but I have a whole new compressor for it. And then I'm also going to clean up. I have a power bond crank pulley with the ARP bolt. I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to clean up a lot of stuff under the car too. Like these brake lines, I might just scuff these up a hair and then just paint over them, protect them from rust. And there's some like surface rust on the bottom side of the subframe that what I'm going to do is wire wheel the subframe and then use like a bed liner, something durable to clean it all up. All right guys, so rad's out. I start looking to see if I can figure out more on how to get the compressor out, and I think it's going to be easier for me to just pull the front bumper off the car and have some more access to that front right corner. I think I'll make it a little more reasonable for me to get it out from the wheel well. Pulling the bumper off this car isn't that hard. It's a bunch of plastic clips I've already pulled off, and it's pretty much 3 bolts on each side, and then disconnecting all the plastic trays, which I already did to get to the rad on the bottom, and then sliding the bumper off and unplugging everything. So that's what I'm going to do now, and we're going to see how hard this is. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going off of, you know, this looks like it needs to come out next, this looks like it needs to come out next. And I feel like the more stuff I take out right now, just take my time taking everything apart, the easier it's going to be, rather than me trying to struggle fitting a wrench in or whatnot to get the compressor out. So I'm just trying to make my life as easy as possible, even though it's going to take a little more time, because I have allotted this whole entire day just to do this. So let's try and get this bumper off. Alright guys, bumper's off. Sorry I didn't film all that. See, there's the plugs there, there's the plugs there, and there's the bumper there. Wheel liner and all that. So this is something for some of the V guys out there. Not so much on the 06 models like mine, but on the early, like the 04, 05s, the ECU is mounted behind the bumper, just about right in front of the wheel. So what I've seen happen to a lot of guys is the bracket, the plastic bracket that they use, actually breaks while driving, and the ECU falls out, falls on the road, gets ripped off the harness, and you're kind of screwed at that point. So what I recommend to all the V guys, if you have your bumper off, throw a zip tie around your ECU just as a safeguard. In case this plastic does crack and break, there is still something to hold your ECU up so that it doesn't fall and almost total your car by ripping the harness to pieces. Now, I have a lot easier access to the AC compressor, which you can see right there. Oh, and these guys are my newish poly front sway bar bushings. I love them. Shout out Creative Steel for the quality part there. But here's the better view of the AC compressor. It's easier to get to now, and I really don't know how those guys push it out the side, but if I can disconnect everything from the side with the rad out, I should be able to just feed it out the top, feed the new one in from the top, and go from there. So I guess it's time to get cracking on this. Oh, here it is. Old AC compressor is out, and this thing is pretty bad shape compared to the new one over here. All right, so we're off the gimbal now. I just got cleaned up. Here is the old compressor. You can hear that. This thing's nasty sounding. That's the old one. Here is the new one, nice and smooth, everything, no noise, clutch is nice and tight, this one's loose. Yeah, so that's that. Ended up pulling it from the top side, you can see where it used to be, down in there, and up there, there's the lines. So now I'm gonna load my front wheels into my dad's car, take them to Tyler to mount, and then I'm gonna hit Pep Boys and pick up some new coolant. What else? Coolant and some bed liner that I'm actually gonna do my front subframe in. So yeah. All right, guys, the tires are mounted. I swung by Pep Boys, grabbed 2 bottles of orange Deck School coolant and some bed liner spray. So I'm heading back to my house now. Gonna eat some lunch and then get back to work on the car. All right, guys, so before I start putting the new compressor in, I kind of jumped ahead and started doing some undercoating stuff. Got the old wire wheel out on the electric drill. Got this Duplicolor truck bed coating. It's not rubberized, which is exactly what I wanted, because the rubberized stuff I've heard has a tendency to trap moisture behind it if it ever cracks and things like that. It never really like dries. So here is what it looks like. I wire wheeled everything down, cleaned it up with alcohol, and sprayed it with the truck bed liner, which I think will just give me a more durable coating compared to like spray paint from rock chips and things like that. Dried pretty quickly too, which is nice. So yeah, this came out really good. I'm happy with the way it looks. I did the front side here, and then I went back there and did the back side of the mounts. Still got to do that one over there, so you can kind of see like before and after. So that's what I was coming from. Wire wheeled it down, and then that is what we got. Much nicer, cleaner surface that will hopefully give me a couple years of good protection there. So I'm gonna try and get the AC compressor in now and go from there now. What I'm gonna do is feed it in through the top, start the top bolts, and do the bottom bolts last, and that'll really be it. So right now I'm going to clean up all this stuff real quick, this whole area. Like I said before, I want to clean up those brake lines, just want to clean up this pulley, and you know, just tidy everything up, make it all look nice. All right, guys, I actually had to take a quick break with my phone because the phone actually got too hot. So the new compressor is in right there. You can see it right up in there, and you can see that I just put some tape over the lines right up in there. The electrical plug is hooked up, everything is tight, and it's good to go. It's 4 bolts. It's literally 4 bolts and then the 2 bolts on to hold the lines in. So it's really not that hard. It's just a matter of getting to it. Some guys said they wrestled it out the wheel well. You know, it's easier to just pull it out, pull the rad, pull it out the front. It's just way easier. I ground down the rust. There's some rust on my front rad support around like the bolt holes and just random spots. You can see the paint was starting to lift, and as soon as I hit it with the wire wheel, it blew out and there's some surface rust underneath of it. So I ground all those spots down and I hit my rad support with some of that truck bed liner. So that should be good now too. Now I'm gonna hook the rad hoses back up to where they go before I slide the rad back in. I think I'm gonna, if I have some clamps in the garage, I'm gonna get rid of these stupid pinch clamps, whatever you want to call them. I hate them. I'm just gonna get some worm gear clamps, throw them on here. It makes everything easier the next time around. And then I'm gonna have to start putting everything back together and filling everything up with coolant and all that. Well, I forgot to hit record, but the rad's in. I literally just slid it back in, bolted the condenser back to it. I also bed lined the rad brackets. So if you guys can see that, the rad brackets, they just slip on over and bolt in. All right, guys, the car runs, everything's good, nothing's leaking, and right now I'm just bleeding the cooling system. I filled up the reservoir, and now I'm just kind of pressing on the rad hoses to try and push the air bubbles out around the back through the expansion tank. I also changed the oil, which you know isn't really that important to show on camera, but as shown before, I always run red line in this car for every fluid basically. Alright guys, finally done. Car's back together. I bled the coolant system. Took it for a test drive. Everything feels good. Like I said though, the AC doesn't work because I need to get it vacuumed out, recharged, hook up the lines and all that. But new compressor's in. It only took me 2 years to do it. So I feel good about that. And yeah, all I gotta do now is throw the front bumper back on. I think this car looks pretty mean without a front bumper. I wish the grille was still on even when the bumper's not on. But I got a lot of stuff to clean up there. So I'm gonna throw the bumper back on and then call it a day. I have the drive shaft coming. I got the X-pipe going on at the same time. What else? I also ordered a module, a PAC module, to hopefully give me an aux input that is switchable on and off to like tap into the XM radio input. So it'd be cool to have an aux jack inside of this car. And yeah, other than that, fresh tires on the front. Shout out to Tyler for that. And that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up today, and hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time.